So as this meeting is specifically for product deep dive, and we focus mostly on IUL and annuity products. So today we will focus on IUL. We have already discussed the basic. So our goal is to discuss the depth of the product a little bit for the client's benefit, that there are various companies which offer IUL, North American, nationwide. Then we also have the AIG, Allianz, and few other companies, right? So, but most of our businesses, we try to focus on North American and Allianz and nationwide now. So nationwide has really good products. So we will just compare these two products, not exactly compare, but just deep dive these two products because both of them are really good, and how they compare with each other, that is what we will discuss today. But if they, most of the time, if husband and wife are available for IUL, for the financial planning, then we try to do one husband on nationwide and wife on North American, for diversification purpose and to take advantage of all the benefits from the two major companies. So IUL, the basics we know, right? We know that the ultimate goal is to have a very, we know the X curve, we know that death benefit is very important for us, as well as the growth of the client's premium, so that eventually the client can retire on the pension like income. And then both of these products, of course, come with the disability insurance as well. So long term care liability insurance. So now, one company versus other, the difference, all of these companies are regulated by the State Department of Insurance, and all of these companies are mostly A rated from the rating perspective. So the difference comes in their indexes, as we discussed before, right? So indexes.
Anil, do you mind if I disturb you quickly?
Yeah, yeah.
Babu
Sure,
here.
sure. Yeah.
I mean, I did not attend any of these IUL sessions before, so you think that I should attend one before coming here?
Yes, we have our team meetings where we go through the basics of IUL,
Okay.
and this meeting is specific. So you should attend the act. Ask your field builder; he will guide you for attending the basic trainings. And this meeting is a little bit of deep dive for the experienced HJ professionals.
Got it.
Uh,
Okay. Thanks.
so yeah. So but you can still remain here, and you will still get to know a lot of things about IUL.
Got it. Okay. I'll be here, Anil. Thank you.
Okay, sure. Okay. So if you can, so let's say North American and the nationwide. So we can download the brochures from nationwide website. And for illustration purpose, for nationwide, we use the website which is myannexus.com, right? So we use, uh, I have opened it here. Okay. So myannexus.com, if you go to this website, you should have that login ID. If you don't have it, go to HGI website and apply it. So you will have, as long as you have nationwide contracting, you will get an email with my nexus.com ID as well. Okay. So once you log in into my Nexus, let me log in from the beginning. You will see this. This is the home page. You go to Nationwide and New Heights select. This is the annuity products and New Heights IUL. So you have to click on New Heights IUL. This is where you go to run the illustration, to get the marketing material or the brochures, and to submit the application. Okay. So this is important website for Nationwide. And for North American, we can log into their portal, northamericancompany.com. And then you go to my business, under my business, the home. So, oh, sorry, log in, and you go to the life and annuity. They have two different portals within the main homepage. So you go to, and once you log into North American, you go to my life business and life home. This is where you will see the link to the web-based illustration, the and also submitting the application. Okay. And this is the website where you can download all the product brochures also. So now let's check. I already downloaded the brochures related to the indexes. So let me increase the font. So this brochure is about the IUL rate guide. So as of today, these are the indexes offered by Nationwide. So let's go through Nationwide first. So Nationwide has really good indexes. JP Morgan Mosaic Index, NYSE Zebra Index. Now, be careful. Some of these indexes are, all these indexes are regulated by third party, meaning those are not owned by Nationwide. As you can see from the name, either it is owned by JP Morgan is managing it, or NYSE is managing it, um, or S&P is managing it. So within their website, they have brochures. They have given the last 10-year performance as well for these indexes. Now, sometimes these indexes are coined only, let's say, 3 years ago, but they still give you last 10-year or 15-year or 20-year history based on the back testing. So the same algorithm they use to back test, and then they give us the previous year's performance also. Okay. Even though the indexes are new. So, but that should not impact us. So if we choose JP Morgan Mosaic Index, the participation rate is 195% with no fees, with zero fee. And if client agrees to pay the fee sometime, some years, so whenever market drops on your anniversary date, you think that this is kind of a bottom, then it's worth it to pay the fee, because next year when market goes up, the participation rate will be 240% instead of 195. Okay. So very few IUL are giving this choice of increasing the participation rate with fee. And in annuities, we have seen that a lot, but in IUL, I think Nationwide is kind of first one from our portfolio, which are offering this fee-based increase in the participation rate. Okay. So these indexes are really good indexes. Let me open a brochure. So you can, download the brochure for each of these indexes as well from the Nationwide website. And if we see, let me open one, for example. So I can open, um, yeah, JP Morgan Mosaic Index brochure. So they give you in that brochure that how they are managing that index, what are the benefits, and but main thing is the returns, right? So they have given the returns graph here based on the back testing that we were discussing. So 7.18% annual return. So these are balanced index. So this green line is depicting this JP Morgan index as compared to S&P. So S&P has lots of ups and downs, you can see, but this index slowly and steadily it keeps on going up. Okay, like this, like the green line. So on an average, S&P has 7.18 compounded interest, but this index, the compounded interest is 5.68%. Okay. Over the last 22 years, out of last, would have provided positive return in 20. Oh, so this is total of 24 years. Okay. Previous 24 years average. So the main benefit, if the client is, if the index is performing 5.68 and we are getting 195% participation rate with zero fee, that means the client will almost make 11% or 10.5% or around 10% compound interest, which is really exceptionally good, right? That means the rule of 72, meaning every 7 years money will double. Any questions so far? Okay, so just like this index, all of these indexes are balanced index. So NYSE Zebra index is similar, and that also has very high participation rate, 180% with no fee, 220% with 1% fee. Okay.
Hello.
Now, yes. Hi, Vagesh.
Hello. Long time. I think there is one more thing that in the chart that it was showing that yeah, people should know that these are all little bit newer indexes. This index, like for example, this JP Morgan, that was Mosaic was established in 2016.
Right.
If you go bottom, it is written there.
Right.
That 12/28/16. So whatever that the previous year that you see, that is a back tested number based on the 2016 to 2022 number.
Okay, so algorithm that they came up with for this index is such that it's a balanced index, meaning it has a combination of bond and stocks in such a way that the volatility is they want to contain that. So they don't want their index to be very volatile. So don't expect like 20% return any year, but you can expect 11%, 12%. So they have actually last, based on back testing,
Yes.
they have these results also. So 2016 onward is real results. So 2016, these are real results. So when 2019, for example, S&P performed 28%, this index gave 6.84%. Okay, last year 16% S&P performed, this index performed negative 2.11. But since it's a balanced index, in the long run, you will get a really good compound interest average.
And same way, like when the 2018 it was negative, S&P it was very less negative, correct? Although
Right.
the negative doesn't matter to us because it's
Right.
already the floor, but just it's pretty balanced, like and
Right, but what happened in
Based,
2020? How
and
did
you can, yeah,
2020?
2020, we don't know what happened, why it is. So basically, whatever their algorithm is, it didn't perform that well. But what I mean is the high participation rate will overcome whatever deficiencies are there in these indexes in the long run. Okay. And if we choose S&P index, then 100% participation rate is there if we do 10% spread. And it has 9% here. If we do 1 year point to point, then the cap rate is 9%. Now compare that with North American. North American has cap rate of 9.3% for S&P. But North American doesn't have the maximum participation rate for any index is Fidelity Multi-Factor. This is also a balanced index, and their participation rate is 120%. Okay, so they don't have the fee concept. You cannot pay 1% fee and increase the participation rate. They also have high par S&P index, and they have 140% participation rate, but nothing more than that. So these indexes have really good participation rate. That's why these are more attractive. Okay. If you choose 2 year point to point for balanced indexes, it always makes sense. If you're long term, if you think, then 2 year point to point is really good. And that can give you 275% return. So with zero fee, that is quite impressive. Okay, so 2 year point to point. So if we go by this chart, even though some years, 2016 and 17, if somebody is lucky, 2 year point to point, meaning 17% return, 17 and 295% of that. So 275% of that. So that will be more than, it will be close to 40%, 41% return, in 2 years. So and some years will be, if you take these 2 years, it will only be 6.6%, and then 75% of that. So that will still be about 15%, 15 to 16% for 2 years. So these are the consideration. This is how you compare the IULs between different companies. So these are the participation rate and availability of indexes for North America.
So basically, Anil bhai, what you're saying is that these are the way that accumulation happens
Right.
in the policy, in the investment that you're doing in IULs. But at the same time, you need to focus on one more major activity, the return, which is the distribution that happens.
Yes.
Because distribution is going to be your income. Mhm. Not just accumulation doesn't make a lot of sense. Because if somebody is saying, I always give this example, 10% of 100,000 and 5% of 150,000, which one you'll pick? 10%, because that is going to be $10,000. Mhm. So that is what also you have to see. But when you're designing the IUL, these are the things that you have to keep in mind as well.
All right. So now let's play with one illustration and then we can see. So I have opened side by side both the websites. So I will click on New Heights IUL accumulator from Nationwide first. So I click here on this link. It'll ask me for the new illustration. Okay, it'll give me the prompt. It's very easy actually, the running an illustration with Nationwide and with North American. So you can see that we have chosen the state. If it's a revised illustration, meaning if the underwriter has told you to revise the illustration, then only you check mark this, otherwise you don't. You put some name of the client and age. Typical scenario, let's say 42-year-old or 40, we can keep 45. And risk class, while giving the illustration to the client, I personally always choose preferred plus, but sometimes people prefer second best. so that their actuals are better than the illustration. But in this case, actuals will be better than illustration anyway because of the high participation rate. They are not allowed to show very high participation rate in the illustration. So we will see that. We will see that the maximum they are allowed. Okay, let's go to next. So we will do now which solve. So solve for guideline level premium. Or we can solve for max face amount. Let me solve for guideline. Last time I did it with. Okay, we will play around with this. Now we will do the premium.
Recommended is the balanced one. That's what they always say.
Okay, let's
Done the
see the
balance.
balanced one first. Okay, balance solve. So premium we are doing $1,000 per month. And monthly premium. Okay. Month to begin one. Now, if you click on this box, you can say from which year to which year, how many years you want to pay the premium. So let's say client is 45, so we can do 15 years easily. So let's say client will pay premium for 15 years, and then after that, no more premium. Okay. And so 0 after from 15 years, from 16th to max. Okay, so this is how we have input the premium, $1,000 per month from year 1 to 15, 16 to max is 0. Okay, monthly, then okay, so lump sum premium, I think we added it. We are not giving any lump sum premium. Okay, and
Can I ask a
then,
question? I see a 1035 exchange. So if I sell a real estate property, can I convert to use 1035 exchange to do an IUL and not have any tax consequences?
yeah, that real estate is 1031 exchange.
I'm sorry, 1031, yes.
This,
Yes.
so this one is 1035, which is if you are having, let's say, a permanent life insurance from New York Life, and we will convince you that this product is much better. So then when you convert from one company to other company, you can carry over the cash value of the product, and that is when you choose 1035 exchange.
I see, okay. So similar to a real
Without any
estate.
tax implication. Yeah.
Got
So
it.
when you can roll over your IUL policies from other company to this company without any tax implication.
Got it. Perfect. Thanks.
Okay. Now, next so here are the indexes. So premium allocation, you click on this box and then you allocate the premium. So here are all the premium allocations available. So if you want to give a good illustration, we can choose 2-year point-to-point zebra index and 2-year point-to-point mosaic index. 50% here, 0% here, and 50% here. Okay, so total should be 100%. So 50% we have chosen 2-year point-to-point JP Morgan mosaic, and 50% 2-year NYSE. Okay, we save this. And see, they have given all the index choices here. Okay, and the average, what is the maximum? So they have written what is the maximum illustrative rate we can show. So now here is the trick. You can tell the client that later on we can change these indexes every year. Okay, and when you run as a professional, you browse through this. So 1-year point-to-point JP Morgan mosaic and 1-year point-to-point NYSE, these has maximum, these have more interest rate, illustrative interest rate, not necessarily the real one, So if we choose 2-year point to point, our illustrative interest rate will only be 6.08. So let's choose 1-year point to point. Okay. So that we can show to the client 7.15%. So we will choose 1-year mosaic and 1-year zebra. Okay. Any question about indexes so far?
Where you are saying core versus non-core here?
Core versus choice.
Just, yeah, 1%. The one.
Actually, this is with the choice. Yeah. So this is choice, and 1-year point to point. This is the core. So actually, we have chosen. Let me confirm. Okay, so we have to choose choice.
During the accumulation period, we'll choose the 2-year and distribution 1 year.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Okay, next. So long-term care rider.
Wouldn't you want to, during accumulation 1 year, since it's a higher percentage, or during distribution?
Yeah, actually, we have just discussed 2-year point to point has very high participation rate as compared to 1 year, right? 275% versus 180%. So if you think that market is going lots of ups and downs, then it's better to choose 1 year, right? Because some of the year you might be lucky that you will get the bottom.
Yep.
Because if 1 year market goes up, next year it comes down. If you have chosen 2 year, then you will get 0% interest rate.
Yeah.
But if you're lucky, if you've chosen 1 year point to point, the year it went up, you might be able to catch that interest rate. Okay. So that is the only catch. But we have seen these balanced indexes are very consistently it keeps on going up, slow and steady. So for them, in the long run, 2-year point to point will give you really good returns as well. Those are not volatile. Those will not go too much up and down.
Yeah.
Okay. Long-term care rider, usually we can choose, this is what percentage of the face amount will the client get the benefit, long-term care benefit, in case they come on bed, in case they are unable to perform 2 activities out of the 6, 2 daily living activities. Okay. So now another caveat here is that usually there's a state limit on this. So nowadays it's about 10,000 or 11,000 per month. So if the face value is already, let's say 200K plus, not 200K, 500K plus, then you can choose 2%. Okay. If the face value is less, then you can choose 3%. Okay. So you understood that, right? If there is no use of choosing 3% if the face value, if the death benefit is already $500,000, then 3% is $15,000 per month. But state limit is only 11,000. So they will not get anyway more than 2%. Okay. So in this case, let's choose 3%.
Anilji, a quick
Yes.
question.
Sure.
So just to understand this LTC, so when we say 2%, just for example, and death benefit is $500,000, so
Right.
2% of it is 10,000 per month.
Right.
Does that mean that the whole every 2% means 2 times 50 is 100%? So after 50 times of 2% is exhausted?
After 50 months, yes, it will be exhausted.
Okay.
That's right. So they are giving you this benefit from your death benefit.
Correct.
So basically, they are giving you the benefit while living, right? So that's why it's called living benefit.
Correct.
So, but you're right. If the person is on bed for 50 months, then it will get the policy will get lapsed, and that's it. That's the end of the policy.
That's the end of the policy. So that means if somebody is thinking of LTC that, hey, I'm going to live till 90 or 95, and this LTC, you are thinking of that chronic situation where literally bedridden, healthy,
Correct.
but cannot do those 2 activities out of 6 activities, and
Correct.
availing this. So if the person is, let's presume it happens at 80 years, then 50 months means how many years? Like 12 times 4 is like almost 4.5 years. That's it, done.
Right.
Got it. Okay. Thank you.
One thing to add, Surajit, that is, these are indemnity. Basically, you don't have to submit any receipt or something to get reimbursed.
But you need to still a disability. You need that
Yeah.
doctors.
Yeah, that is always going to be there. It's not
Yeah.
like otherwise there will be a lot of fraud, correct?
Correct. But yes, the money is like, yeah, you don't have to submit receipts or anything. Hey, I'm disabled. I need money to stay in a long-term care facility. So why not this same plan is going to take living on my own death benefit rather than leaving it for the next generation.
Yeah, on the cash value, no. On the
Ah.
living on the death benefit.
Got it. Thank you, sir. Thanks.
Okay. So after choosing this, when we click on next, it gives us the choices how detailed you want your illustration. Do you want to include the internal rate of return? Do you want to include the nationwide financial strength brochure in there? So you can choose, but my suggestion is don't just choose the default in the beginning. The less information you give to the client, less confused the client will be. If you choose a lot of these details, then your illustration will be very long and client will be confused and he will ask a lot of questions. But for your learning, you can choose the monthly cost summary. You can choose the internal rate of return. This is just for your learning that how good these reports are. And you will come to know all the cost factors associated with these policies. Okay. All right. So we
One
will,
more thing, for
yeah.
LTC, you need the life health insurance, health license as well. To have the LTC added to your application, the producer need to be health certified as well.
Yeah, correct. Or else this checkbox is even not available for you.
No, checkbox will be there.
Oh, okay.
It happened to me, that's why I'm saying.
Okay.
Okay.
It is available. Got
This
it.
is with nationwide only,
Yeah.
not with North American, right?
The
And
North America doesn't have the LTC rider.
yeah, they don't have separate.
Yes. They have the critical chronic
They
term.
call it critical illness.
Yes. So this LTC is long-term care indemnity rider, which gives a lot of other benefit. Because that's a long-term care basically. CCT is not a long-term care, no?
Right. Run illustration. Okay, it is calculating the balance solve. Okay, so 295K death benefit and target premium is $5,000.
One more, hold on, sir. Hold on.
Yeah.
There is another one thing which is added in here is one that you can add here. Just add a specific total death benefit. Click on the add. Now you're saying 188 is the minimum, 295. Let's say you want to make it for 350. Just add 350 there in the death benefit side. Yes.
So
on the
starting death benefit will be this. You want to change this, you mean?
Yeah, just change that at 350.
So for illustration purpose, we can always do that 350K.
So
That's what you're telling?
what happens is this gives the flexibility to
Yeah.
choose, all three at one time, or one. Actually, it is going to be one only. When you
Right.
do, it will do the calculation for 350 as well.
Right.
Mhm.
Right. But in order to show, if your goal is to show the maximum accumulation to the client, then it is better
But
to reduce the death benefit. So
yeah,
then in
I'm
that
saying that
case,
yes. So
you choose
non-MEC
this.
is the minimum one, correct? 188.
Right. Right. Minimum non-MEC, this is the minimum. And if you want to round that off, then you can choose 200K.
Yeah,
But
your number, something like your number
yeah,
that you
give your number. Yeah. So let's say 200K and increase. You want
just
to increase
no,
the
just
death
leave
benefit?
no, just leave that.
Yeah,
Click
we
on
will
add, click on
as
add, it will run that. Click on add first. Yes, it is going to run at the same time there.
right. So you can compare here.
Yes.
So if the 200K, then target premium has gone up a little bit. But if it is 295K, your target premium will be more, right? So if you want, so it is up to you whether the client's goal is to have a high death benefit in the beginning, or you want to show the maximum accumulation, or you want to have a balance like somewhere in the middle. Okay. So somewhere in the middle will be, anyway, let's do it for 200K.
It doesn't show the income yet because I think the number of year start income was not selected.
Okay, the distribution you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, distribution we have.
That's
And
okay.
also, Anil Bhai, I think you put 3% for the LTC rider. Shouldn't
Right.
it be 2%?
No, because I said 2% we will choose if the death benefit is more than 500,000.
Oh, okay. I
In
get you
this
now.
case, it is less, so we have chosen 3%.
Okay.
Okay, so let's go to our table. So we will go to tabular details, guaranteed, and tabular details, non-guaranteed. So here is our table. So in 15 years, client would have paid 180K premium. And you see that the value, the break-even point is less than 10 years, right? Accumulation value in 10 years, client would have paid 120K, and the value, the accumulated value is 128K. So this is impressive. This is very rare to see, right? Usually it is 10 year is almost break even or a little bit less, and 15 year is really good. And as you go further, if client retires at age 65 or at 70, so 421, 180K would have turned in 25 years to 421K tax free. And remember, this is the maximum illustrative rate of 7.15. But we have seen that these indexes, their average is really good, in the long run. So even if they perform 4%, let's say, the average long-term compound interest, they are predicting 6.18%. Let's say worst case scenario, next 15 years, they perform 4%, and you have chosen 2-year point to point. So 2-year, that means it is 8%. If not 8%, let's say 2-year 6%. So then, or sorry, 8%. So 275% of 8%, that means about 22% return in 2 years. That means 11% per year. So it will be much better than 7.15. So that's why I say this, the chances that your real numbers will be much better than the illustrative rates is very good with the nationwide because of the high participation rate. That is why this IUL is attractive.
Anilji,
Yes.
there is two column. One is death benefit and another one is benefit for LTC. What is the difference between that two?
Right. So for long-term care, we have chosen 3%. So they will calculate 3% of 200K. That means client will get 6,000 per month LTC.
Okay, and death benefit, I mean, let's say,
A total of 387. So let's say client at age 70 goes to bed. So client will continue to get $6,000 per month till the time all the 489,000 is consumed.
then what is the meaning of showing of 200,000?
200 is only for the calculation of the monthly benefit. So it is 3% of 200K.
Okay, and then if I subtract 200,000 from 489, then it will be 289,000 more. So that will be, if I die at 70,
Yeah.
then I will my family will get that money.
That's right. That's correct.
And if I leave, then I will not. I cannot get that money
Oh,
as
you
a
will.
LTC rider.
You can. So 200K is only for the benefit of, for the calculation of the monthly benefit. You will continue to get the money as long as you are on bed and as long as your 489K is not consumed.
Uh,
A
200.
maximum is 6,000, right? Because you selected $200,000.
That's right. Yes.
So if you wanted more
So very
monthly,
little
long-term
change,
care.
and you can play around, very little change in fee. If you increase it to 4%, your LTC fee will increase a little bit. Okay. So some clients, for them, LTC is a big thing, that is their preference. So then to them, run the illustration with maximum LTC. And you can change this also. You can change 200K also while running the illustration.
So if I die at the age of 70, Anil Bhai, then I'll get to 489. And if I haven't used the rider, I'll get 489 plus 200. That's 689 to the beneficiary, right?
No. You will only get 489. This is not a death benefit. 200K is only for the purpose of LTC calculation.
Okay.
Okay. So your family will only get 489.
So, Anilji, sorry, I'm a little lost here. You're saying $200,000, what is shown as LTC is $6,000 a month. But if you consider 6,000 times 12, it is 72. So I'm not
Right.
able to understand the relation. What is $200,000 which is shown here?
Oh, okay. 200,000. 3% is 6,000. So 6,000. That's actually right. So 72. Yes. That's right. So you will get $72,000 per year.
So that means it will just get over in 3 years?
No, it cannot be.
Because it
No.
says
As per the standard LTC's policies, your LTC will be over only when you consume all of your death benefit. Okay, so 72. So 489 divided by 72, that means almost four,
6.5 years almost then.
sorry, 6.5 years, right? So it's almost 6.5 years you will get that. Okay. So what I mean is the accumulation value growth is really good with Nationwide. If I compare it with North American, it will be less. It will not be that attractive because North American, first of all, their illustrative rate itself is not, it's about 6.15 something. Here we got 7.15, right? But your real numbers, as we have discussed, even in the worst case scenario, it will be much better.
Can you explain why you selected $200,000 for the calculation purposes? Is that the norm? Where did the 200,000 come from?
Oh, where the 200,000 come from?
Yeah, is that the norm for
Let me
calculation
let me
purposes?
go back to the illustration. So back See, here we have chosen long-term care, and I have seen it, a long-term care amount equal to this total specified amount. You can specify long-term care amount. We can specify here 300,000. Let's see. Okay, so and this is where we change it to 4% or 3%. So if client is for client LTC is a big thing,
Okay,
then
okay, let's say, I need to understand the reasoning, why, what number we should specify here, 300,000, 200,000. What?
it
who
depends
decides?
on the, so your fee will change, right? So it depends your for your client, is it if LTC is a very high priority or not? If not, you keep it to default and to minimum, not too high. Otherwise, your illustration will not look this attractive, right? Because
And
fee will increase. That's all. If I run the same illustration again, then you will see that because we have chosen higher LTC, the growth will be a little bit less because of the higher fee. That's all. I should have saved that. Okay, I can save it.
And also, maybe LTC is a little uncertain. Not everyone may claim. In normal circumstances, what would be the distribution that will be paid out? That is what will be actually the interesting part to know.
Okay, let's go back and we will choose the distribution as well. So we have chosen these are the
Below, at
indexes.
the bottom, income.
Yeah, income, we click this. Distribution amount.
Age 66 to 80. That is what.
Solve. Action is borrow. Age 66 till 80. Okay. That is the
Okay.
default value that has come. Okay. So let's change this to, let's say 85 or 90. Okay. Now let's do next.
Distribution may also need to be changed, right? Monthly to yearly.
So,
That's okay. It will come as an annual anyway.
so distribution mode here. Yeah,
Yeah.
that will not matter much.
Okay.
Okay. That will not matter much.
And loan type was alternative, Anil Bhai. So I assume that is participating, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. So income. Okay, so this is the input summary interval.
Go to the next page. I think next page is there.
Yeah, I think next we should accumulated value. This is age. No, it is not.
Hmm.
So here, narrative summary, my policy goal, and
It should be in the ledger.
usually it shows up. So from age 66.
Yeah, there it is. There it is, 24,574.
Yeah, here it is. So net annual outlay. So you see that by that age, your accumulated value is about 311 when you started. So you will get about $24,000 per year. So it has shown up to the age 90. And after the 0. Okay. So that means if you are giving $12,000 per year now, then after 20, so at age 66, that means after 21 years, you can get double the money out with continued death benefit, right? And your whole premium you will come back to you 180K by age about 79. Okay, by age about 80. Yeah, so 180K will come back, and if you die around that age, still beneficiary will get 209K. And this is very flexible. So some years you don't need the money, keep it in there, let it grow. And if you let it grow, then that money would have increased to 729K. Overall, your death benefit would have been a little bit more than 729K at age 80. So we can see that at age 80, the other illustration we ran, at age 80, the death benefit is almost 800K, 806K. Okay, so here the death benefit is only 209K because you have withdrawn 188K. So it is kind of return of premium. So whatever premium you're giving now, it is coming back to you, and your death benefit will continue for the rest of your life. So some people ask question, do you have a policy for return of premium? You say yes, IUL can do that.
Anil, what's the annual cost? Somebody can you go to that tab
Yeah,
at the bottom?
so I can email this one report to everybody. Our time is pretty much up, so we can quickly check. Yeah, annual cost summary.
Is the fourth
It's at the bottom.
Fourth from the
last.
bottom.
Fourth from the last. Yeah, here. Okay, so increase the font a little bit. So at age 61, no, this is age, let's say younger age. At age 58, 12,000 premium. See, initially you pay there are premium charges only till the time you are paying the premium. After that, it becomes 0. But this premium charge comes back to you as a bonus, which is conditional credit.
Yes.
It comes back to you. See, once you stop making premium payment, it is coming back to you. This is on top of your interest income. Okay, this is conditional credit coming back to you. And the other cost is just the cost of insurance, where it is premium.
Here it is, in the middle it is the base cost of insurance charges.
Right, per 1,000 base. The rider charges, this is rider charges LTC and the accidental death benefit rider charge. Yeah, cost of insurance charges here. So at age 60, the cost of insurance is only about $328 for whole year.
And the death benefit was for 300K. What was the death benefit?
Yeah, death benefit was for initial was 200K.
I think we increased to 300 when we, okay.
No, now it is 280. Meaning at that age it will be 386. But initial death benefit was 200K. We changed it to 200K.
Okay.
It's written on the top.
Yeah, it's on this table.
No, वहाँ पे भी है. There is a specified death amount, 200K.
Ah, yeah, here it is.
Okay.
Okay, so this is really good for you guys to understand the cost associated. And some people ask question about this premium charge. So tell them that this money is coming back to you in the later years. And actually, company give more bonuses in the later year, which they are not allowed to show after AG 49, bro. So, but this money, this credit is on top of the interest credit, and this credit is kind of return of your initial fee. So these are front-loaded policies. The fees is higher in the initial year, but later year company gives it back to you. Okay, so our time is pretty much up. We took a deep dive into Nationwide. I will send the recording. And any more questions, anyone? Okay, if not, then thank you and have a wonderful evening.
Question. So next
Thank you.
week, when we continue the session, will we be having a comparison of how North America is
Do
going
you
to
want to compare with North American? We can, but if you want, we have gone through North American few times already. So, but North American, you can run it with the same scenario. All of you are well experienced. You will see that the accumulation is much less.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
But again, I'll tell you one thing. Just by looking into the participation rate and all those things, you cannot decide the solution. There are every situation, the client that you are going to deal with, it's going to be different. Somebody might need LTC, somebody might need a higher death benefit, somebody might need higher, distribution. Based on all that, you're going to choose the company for the client because client doesn't know all these things.
Right.
Your,
And many times we have seen that if the person is medically a little bit challenged, North American is much easier to deal with. So with experience, you will learn North American is a really good company.
Okay. Thank you, Anil bhai.
every product, every company has one thing that so far probably you guys have understood, that if you run any illustration, any company, it is going to be plus and minus. It is not going to be a huge difference in any of these. That okay, somebody is giving, let's say for example, distribution $10,000. The other company will not give $20,000. It will be 9,500, 11,200, something like that. So just do your due diligence properly.
Got it.
Just yeah. Otherwise people will start looking into, oh, this company is the best one. No, there is no company best.
Okay.
All companies are good. They're all rated very well.
Okay. But first, all of us have to have our health insurance done before we start using Nationwide.
Yes. And no, not just Nationwide, only for the LTC rider you need that. Otherwise you can do rest of the things. Nationwide has a long-term care special policy as well, which is wonderful product that I'm going to write myself as well, and it has a huge benefit that you get that from small amount of investment. Okay, thank you so much, Anil bhai. It's wonderful.
Okay, thank you everyone.
Thank you, Anil bhai. Thank you.
Thank you, Anil sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone.
हाँ बेटा लॉगिन करो